Welcome back, everyone. For this segment of On the Beat, CEO Patrick Wooten is joining me in studio with Richard Schwartz and Associates. Patrick, it's so good to have you back.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Okay, so we are talking today about catastrophic injuries.
Yes.
What exactly is a catastrophic injury?
That's right. Great question. So catastrophic injury, from a legal perspective, is one of those life-altering injuries that is going to have some element of permanency to it. So more so than your normal whiplash or somebody who breaks a bone that thankfully heals completely. So it's something that's going to remain with you throughout your life. So we've got to look for the long term when making a recovery.
Now, when someone happens to be involved in a catastrophic injury, what extra steps does an attorney have to do to start this type of case?
Yeah, so those are really important. So traditionally, you're going to see a catastrophic injury when you involve a commercial vehicle.
Okay.
You know, typically something that's so much heavier and it just causes just complete and total devastation.
Yes.
So the investigation has to be more complete and more detailed because a lot of commercial vehicles have video cameras, so you've got to ensure you get that footage.
Okay.
You may actually have to get an accident reconstructionist involved to actually determine exactly how that wreck happened. So traditionally, from the very beginning, you're going to take additional investigative steps to ensure you can get that fault assigned to the party that actually caused the accident.
Okay. Now, what are some of the requirements in a serious injury case that an attorney has to address?
Yeah. So big thing one, besides the investigation, is health. We want to ensure that that person who has suffered such a devastating injury can get all the medical care that they can so that ultimately they can make the best recovery. And unfortunately, there are some medical providers, and it's their right, don't want to be involved in accident claims. So it's being able to ensure that that injured person can get to an ortho if they need to, or a neurosurgeon, or receive the physical therapy they need. So it's walking hand in hand with the client through that medical journey to make sure that every step of the way they're getting what they need to get healed.
And then let's talk about Medicare, you know, them being able to get healed. How does that impact a serious injury case?
Yeah. The good thing is health insurance will step in and will pay the bills. You do have to provide that information to the medical provider, and there are a few steps. If there's medical payment coverage on the vehicle in which you're riding, that actually has to pay first before your health insurance kicks in. But it's really important as the attorney that we are sending all that information not only to the medical provider, but also to that health provider to say, hey, MedPay's been exhausted, you know, Nancy's got Medicare, please file her bills with Medicare, and then following up to ensure that that happens. Because that's going to allow the person to not get the additional stress of receiving tens of thousands of dollars of medical bills in the mail of going, please pay, when they have health insurance that should be paying them.
And then also, is there a difference in a case involving an adult or a child?
There is. There's a few extra steps. You know, kids, if it's catastrophic, of course, their life expectancy is going to be longer. So you really have to look at the long-term future medical costs. So that will likely be greater than that of an adult. And then additionally, in Mississippi, we're the only state in the country where you're not reaching the age of majority till 21.
Okay.
So if you're a child, you're going to have any settlement ultimately approved by the Chancery Court in the county in which you live. As an adult, you're not required to undergo that step. You know, you reach a settlement, insurance company sends the check and the release, and you knock it out. A child, we're going to have to go to court, and the judge ultimately is going to have to sign off on the settlement.
All right, Patrick, that was all great information. If you want to learn more, you can visit their website. That's all we have for On the Beat.